Under the leadership of their Chief Data and Analytics Officer, Don Wu, their strategy rests on four foundational principles: a robust data foundation based on data products, data intelligence through analytics and AI, creating a data-driven culture where decisions are only guided by data, and finally, empowering their customers and their agents through personalized experiences. New York Life's legacy data platform was a Hadoop-based platform where thousands of data sources were ingested into a Hadoop platform. A legacy IBM data stage ETL was used to transform that data into a data warehouse. And finally, Tableau was used for dashboard reporting to end users. As you can see, this was a legacy data platform. Some of the key challenges with this platform were that it was reaching its end of life and the vendor support was declining. This data platform was based on deprecated product. It either needed a new strategy or a very significant upgrade. This data platform did not support ACID capabilities. What that meant is it severely hampered New York Life's ability to fulfill new requirements for their consumers. As New York Life moved to AWS, they adopted a micro account strategy. This strategy is based on AWS's best practices that are focused on operational excellence, security, reliability, and most importantly, cost optimization. A micro account strategy helps isolate and manage business applications for security and compliance, and also helps reduce a blast radius when there are any incidents. A micro account strategy also establishes boundaries where access between accounts is only through explicit grant privileges. The micro account strategy started with a HIPAA ingestion account. All the data first landed into a landing bucket within that account. All clear text PII data only resided in this account, and access to this account was severely restricted. AWS Lake Formation was used to manage all permissions within that data lake, and Redshift external tables were used as a common pattern for querying the data lake. Additionally, New York Life used serverless capabilities wherever it made sense. They also used cross-account accesses through trust policies. All detokenization capabilities were managed through LDAP groups. Here is a view into New York Life's micro account strategy. All the data landing into AWS first gets into the HIPAA ingestion account. This is a HIPAA compliant account where access is severely controlled. Any clear text PII data only resides in the landing bucket within this account. It is then detokenized and moved over to a raw bucket within the same account. The data is then moved to a structured bucket within the data lake account. Any of the teams that need access to the raw data are provided access to only the data lake account. The transform account is used to transform data and move to a Redshift cluster based in the data warehouse account. The consumption account is used by end users to access through Tableau dashboards. Finally, data governance is managed through a data governance account which also takes care of updating the metadata. The MLOps account, as the name suggests, is used for machine learning. As you can see, this is a micro account strategy. All the accounts here are for a different purpose. And in case of any incidents in any of these accounts, the blast radius can be controlled. As a result of this structure, it provided New York Life with a centralized place for high quality data. It allowed New York Life to process unstructured data that is reliable. As we know, processing unstructured data is extremely important for us to innovate through generative AI and provide business with real impact. It improved data access for downstream systems and ensured scalability. Data governance and compliance were improved, which are imperative for any financial services firms. The key principles around the MLOps architecture were based on scalability. They used Bedrock for LLM scalability and EKS for hosting, automation through CI/CD pipelines, reproducibility by using GitHub for versioning and generating consistent environments through Docker. Monitoring and governance was managed by writing all prompt completions, prompts, start and end time, token lengths to DynamoDB. Modularity was managed through loose coupling, and security by ensuring data protection, LLM protection, IP protection, as well as others. One of the key principles was democratization. They started centrally, created capabilities centrally, but then provided different teams these capabilities to be accessed. Now let's talk about one of the first GenAI use cases that New York Life rolled out to its users. New York Life is in the insurance business. Whenever you decide a claim, the claim decision has to be communicated to the customers. Creating this communication is a highly manual process and very time consuming. Inconsistent approach to the communication can expose companies to legal risk. Additionally, unclear communication can lead to misunderstanding and very poor customer experience. A claims manager has to review all the documentation being provided and reach a claims decision. This is a manual process. This is where a claims manager makes that decision. But in order to communicate that decision to the customer, the claims manager has to lay out the data, all the data that they have, and then start drafting the letter. The claims manager spends a lot of time reviewing the notes, reviewing the document history, reviewing medical summaries in order to draft the letter. And they have to go back and forth in order to complete the letter. Once the draft letter is created, it goes through a manual review through the senior claims managers before it goes out to the customers. A critical pain point that you must have seen here is that claims managers spend hours meticulously laying out all the data and drafting the completion letters. This is where generative AI has been transformative. Generative AI is able to instantly synthesize all communication. It generates consistent, policy-compliant letters and allows claims managers to focus on their key skills, which is focus on review and judgment. It also maintains human-in-the-loop oversight through senior claims managers reviewing the generated letters before they go out to the customers. This GenAI application has been transformative for claims managers. It has led to efficiency when New York Life is now able to generate personalized and compliant letters in a fraction of the time. It reduces risk, where now the generative AI application has been able to standardize the approach and ensure consistency. It improves customer satisfaction because by providing clearer explanations and faster responses, New York Life is seeing measurable increase in customer satisfaction. And finally, speed to resolution has increased dramatically. Faster decisions, clearer communications always lead to better outcomes. The success of New York Life's transformation is built on a strategic partnership with AWS throughout this journey. We engaged together in a truly collaborative design and development, bringing the best of the minds together. Detailed roadmap planning sessions were held so that we wanted to ensure that we are always aligned. Strong executive alignment meant that we drove faster decisions and had a rapid pace. Finally, New York Life adopted AWS best practices within their architecture and also accelerated the delivery through the use of experience based acceleration, or EBA as we call them. So, what are EBAs? EBA is a transformational methodology using hands on, agile, and immersive interactions that build capability and accelerate time to delivery. Within EBA, using EBAs, we can create organizational capabilities on how to deliver real impact very fast. It also accelerates delivery and it empowers builders because they learn by doing. EBAs are a methodology where we bring builders together from both AWS and customers to create magic within a few days. An EBA methodology consists of these stages. We start with executive alignment, we define the capabilities that we are going to build, and we identify any gaps. We then finalize work streams that are going to work in parallel during those 3 days and finalize the planning tasks before executing a 3-day EBA party. We call it a party because we make it fun. We want to have fun while we are building. And finally, we transform at scale. After the EBA is done, we validate the outcomes and adopt it as a mechanism. New York Life, throughout this journey, must have completed at least 15 to 20 EBAs, and they have adopted EBAs as a way to work. Now let's talk about some of the lessons learned throughout this journey. The first one is executive alignment. We want to ensure that our executives are aligned, that we have the buy-in from executives. Very critical for any transformation. We want to design for scale, but build iteratively. Always have a North Star in mind, but be flexible in how you get there. Pick the low-hanging fruits first, but always look at your North Star and drive your decisions based on that. Always prioritize detailed architectural reviews and ensure they're based on AWS best practices. Your AWS teams are always ready to help. Involve them so that you don't have to redo the work. Build your data foundations and always bring your models to your data, not the other way around. Data is your differentiator. Every company has access to the same set of models, from larger to smaller. Models are now becoming a commodity. So make sure you're building a solid data foundation and using the right model for the job. Again, this is no secret here. Speed is critical and you should fail fast. In order to achieve speed, you need to ensure that you're testing out new things, and if it doesn't work, you try something else, but fail fast and move on. I have worked with large enterprise organizations for more than 20 years, and this is a common theme across those organizations. There are too many silos in larger organizations, and in order to innovate faster, we need to break down those silos. At Amazon, we call that a two pizza team. We need to have small, lean, cross functional teams that achieve specific business outcomes. And finally, be firm on the vision. Have that North Star in mind that I talked about, but be flexible on how you get there. Be flexible on the details. Adjust based on new information, but always have that vision in your mind. And finally, I want to end here with this quote from one of the greatest leaders from our generation. Never be scared of change. We're lucky to be living in an era where we are seeing such great technological innovations. Embrace these innovations and see them as an opportunity. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure speaking to you. And please don't forget to complete the survey.